Just watch.
Feel Good Mornings with Cairo. Weekdays 10 a.m. Rock Weekdays with GDG 4:30 p.m. Pop Fridays with Lisa Maupa 7:30 p.m. Tambayan ni Chit Saturdays 7:30 p.m. Disco Flashback Sundays at 2 p.m. Poppin' Rappin' Sundays with The Computer Parts Sundays 9:30 p.m. Lahat ng yan ay nandito sa Cool FM, ang inyong himpilan, ang inyong tahanan, #1 sa Mega Manila. Lahat ng drama, lahat ng tawanan, lahat ng iyong all-time hits. Ang tanging huntahan ng Masanggamaw, #1 sa Mega Manila, nationwide pa. Broadcasting from TGON, TVH Group of Networks. Dito lang sa inyong iisang himpilan. You are listening to Cool FM. Live from Cool Studios. This is koolNews at 6.
Good evening and welcome to koolNews at 6. Today is October 21, 2024, and here are the headlines for this evening. Former President Rodrigo Duterte will not be called yet to the Senate when it starts its investigation into the bloody drugs war during his term. According to Senate Minority Leader Aquino Coco Pimentel, Duterte will only be invited to the hearing once the allegations against him are made during the hearing. Pimentel said the House records on the issue would have to be included in the Senate records so that the proceedings would be orderly. He said Duterte could voluntarily face the probe, but at the proper time. Of course, we can't start with a confusing story. We can't just jump in and respond to accusations that haven't even been stated yet, Pimentel said in Filipino in response to a reporter's query. So let's try to bring a bit of order to our system and hearings. But of course, if he's willing to come, then maybe we can set it for the second hearing. Let's finish addressing all allegations in the first hearing so that they can respond in the second hearing, he added. Pimentel has been tapped to lead the sub-panel of the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee, which may conduct its probe on the issue even during the session break. For Pimentel, the Senate probe should start with certain personalities like retired Police Colonel Leonina Garma and resigned National Police Commission Chief Edilberto Leonardo, both of whom already testified before the House Court Committee. Garma earlier testified in the House hearing that on Duterte's request, a national task force was formed and Leonardo headed it to implement a reward system for every suspected killed in the war on drugs, which is similar to the Davao model. Aside from rewarding police officers for every drug suspect killed, Garma said the Davao model also allegedly involved funding plant operations and refunding operational expenses. She claimed to be accredited with Davao Mayor Duterte while she was a commander in one of the police stations in the province. Pimentel said they would have to make a realistic list of the resource persons to be invited to the Senate probe. It was Senator Ronald Bato de la Rosa who thought of inviting Duterte to the Senate probe when he announced his plan to lead the probe as chair of the Senate Committee on Public Orders and Dangerous Drugs. But because de la Rosa's name has also been mentioned in the House inquiry, Senate President Francis G. Escudero suggested that they should be conducted by the Blue Ribbon Committee, headed by Senator Pia Catiano. And since Catiano would be busy with her re-election bid, Escudero said a subcommittee headed by Pimentel could be formed to conduct the probe instead. Senator Cynthia Villar on Monday said that she will ask the Department of Agriculture and the Senate Mother Committee for 7 billion pesos to finance the Rice Competitiveness Enhancement Fund under the proposed 2025 DA budget. I will ask the DA and the Mother Committee to give me 7 billion pesos to finance the Rice Competitiveness Enhancement Fund because they brought the thrift on rice from 25% to 50%, Villar, chairperson of the Senate Subcommittee on Finance, said. The Republic Act number 11203, Authorized Certification Law, created the RCEF, which seeks to improve the income and productivity of farmers and provide assistance through farm machinery, seed developments, credit, and extension service. Because of that, we might only be able to collect 15 billion pesos and we need 30 billion pesos, so there is an excess this year, Villar added. The senator also noted that 10 billion pesos for RCEF and 8 billion pesos of financial assistance to rice farmers owing to hectares of land and below will be spent this year. So there is a shortage of 7 billion pesos, so I want the DA to put that in the budget, so we will have 30 billion pesos next year for the Rest Competitiveness Enhancement Fund, further said. Senate Bill number 2779 and House Bill number 10381, that's 6 amend the Agriculture Certification Act, aim to increase to 30 billion pesos under the new proposed RCEF fund. It also seeks to extend the validity of the program, which will end in 2025. The Senate Subcommittee on Finance approved on Monday the proposed 2025 budget of the DA. The total budget to be presented to the plenary is 178.273 billion pesos. Senate Majority Leader Francis Tolentino on Monday shared his plan to introduce innovations to the proposed Mandatory Reserve Officers Training Corps or ROTC bill, which is currently pending in the period of plenary debates at the Senate. Speaking before officials and troops from the 11th Infantry Division at Camp Teodolfo Bautista in Jolo, Tolentino said the innovations he plans to propose seek to make the ROTC program more dynamic and appealing to the youth, and also more responsive to the country's needs and interests. The ROTC program will just be for 1 year, different from its previous version, which consisted of 2 years of straight basic and advanced military training, said Tolentino, one of the measure's principal sponsors. The second year will be optional for students who would like to pursue advanced training. Meanwhile, the executive program in the third year will allow cadets with advanced training to choose specialized courses, he pointed out. The executive program, he explained, could include cybersecurity for those who are into information communications technology and maritime security for those who would like to acquire a deeper understanding of pressing national concerns, such as the West Philippine Sea conflict and maritime military strategy. The enthusiasm of our youth to participate in nation building through military training should not be stifled but instead encouraged. And it can be encouraged if we have an active and robust ROTC program, he stressed. Himself a Brigadier General Reservist in the Philippine Army, Tolentino pointed out that the number of the country's reserve force is only around 107,000 and thus need to be continuously reinforced by encouraging recruits from the ranks of the youth. In the coming years, the Philippines will be besieged by several national concerns which might overwhelm national leadership, he stated. In previous statements, the senator has underscored the need for a robust reserve force that can be deployed to assist the government during crisis situations, including national calamities and public health emergencies such as the recent COVID-19 pandemic. The House of Representatives Quad Committee has turned over documents related to properties allegedly owned by Chinese nationals to the Office of the Solicitor General to prevent the sale of such properties to other individuals. In the press briefing on Monday, Surigao del Norte 2nd District Representative Robert A. Sparber said that the properties involved were the warehouses in Pampanga, checked by his panel, the House Committee on Dangerous Drugs, and eventually the Quad Committee. Today, the Quadcom will turn over documents pertaining to the accusations and properties believed to be owned, procured, acquired by Chinese nationals. We have discovered that there are several Chinese personalities who acquired thousands of hectares of land in the province of Pampanga, Barbers, lead presiding officer of the Quad Committee, said. Barbers clarified that the turnover of the documents to OSG does not mean that the Quad Committee has finished properly the issue. No, it's not the end. This is because we only saw that we have what I think is a sufficient and substantial investigation done, particularly with these Chinese nationals and their corporation, Empire 999, owned by Mr. Willie Ong, Mr. Eddie Tai Yang, he noted. Part of the recommendation of the Quad Committee is to turn over these documents to the Office of the Solicitor General in order to conduct their own investigation for possible for future proceedings for these properties. So we feel that immediately we have to initiate for future proceedings so that criminals will not elude us, he added. Barbara said there was already an incident where a parcel of land, part of the House panel's investigation, were sold to a Filipino businessman who thought that he was transacting with a fellow Filipino. These might be sold if we do not act, like one property sold, a 6-hectare land sold to Mr. Rudy Ango. He was buying the land in good faith. He thought he was transacting with a Filipino until he discovered otherwise, he noted. Last May 22, Barbara said that a certain Willie Ong, believed to be the owner of the warehouse in Pampanga, where over 500 kilograms of sugar were seized, acquired parcels of land by using a fake Filipino identity. Prior to this, the lawmaker urged authorities to check the possibility of China's creeping invasion of the Philippines by using its nationals to purchase land and property. According to Barbers, they are trying to avoid a scenario where the land would be bought because if the land is forfeited, it will have to be returned to the government. Our estimate, there are thousands of factors involved. We do not have the final figure, but if we base it on the number of titles acquired, transferred to a Chinese national or to the corporation that was registered, this would be around 300 to 400 titles, Barbara said. So what Assistant Solicitor General Attorney Hermes Ocampo said, that they will study this, initiate the SG proceedings, is correct. Because if ever we recover this, it has to be recovered in favor of the national government. Because there was a fraud that happened, people bought land, but all these properties were fraudulently acquired, he added. Santa Rosa City Representative Dan Fernandez meanwhile urged the OSG to coordinate with Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin as the latter issued an asset preservation order for the Philippine offshore gaming operator hub in Bamban, Tarlac so that it will not be sold to other people. And the concert schedule for the Sagangayahan Festival in Sorsogon will proceed as planned on Monday, October 21, despite Tropical Depression Christine prompting Tropical Cyclone Wind Cyclone number 1 to be raised over the province. Sorsogon City Mayor um, Esther Hammer announced via Facebook that the concert featuring original Filipino music or OPM band Parokya ni Edgar and Filipino rappers Floji and Gusta Lee would go on rain or shine. The Philippine Atmospheric Geophysical and Astronomical Services Administration, Sorted Luzon, reported that moderate to heavy rains have been affecting Sorsogon, Catadunes, Albay, Camiasor, Calarines Sur, and Norte Samar. Originally set for the provincial capital grounds, the 6 p.m. concert has been relocated to the Sorsogon Arena to accommodate more concert goers, according to the Provincial Tourism, Culture, and Arts Office. As of 11 a.m., Pagasa reported that Christine was spotted 870 kilometers east of Visayas, moving westward. It is now 6:10 in the evening, and we will return with more news headlines right here on koolNews at 6. So yeah, we will be right back.
Samahan si Mark Corrales sa isang oras sa kwentuhan, tawanan at kung ano-ano man. Tuwing Sabado, pagsapit ng 1:00 ng hapon.
Magandang hapon po. It's Gusto Ko Sabado, GKS.
Sumama na sa kwentuhan sa GKS. Gusto Ko Sabado. Dito lang sa nag-iisang hipili na Mark. Cool FM.
Feeling good while you work. Cool FM.
Welcome back to Cool News at 6. The numerous criticisms against Vice President Sara Duterte were a test of her character, and her outbursts at the press conference last Friday showed a flaw in her behavior, according to Antipolo 2nd District Representative Romero Ocampo. At the press briefing on Monday, Ocampo said he believes Duterte was overwhelmed by anger when she conducted a press briefing last Friday.
Punong-puno ng galing talaga.
Yes. Why do you think po? Bakit po sa tingin ninyo ganun yung nangyari kay, and you even mentioned Kong Ortega na parang may meltdown o may problema na nangyari. Why do you think po na nagkaganon?
Well, siguro sa nangyayari sa ating Vice President, nagkakaroon siya ng, I think she's being overwhelmed by anger and hate. Pag ang isang tao ay sobrang galit, nawawala siya sa sense of decency sa aking paningin. And sometimes, yung how you manage yung hate sa yung katawan at saka yung nasasaktan ka, it's also a test of your character. Di ba? How you manage these things, it's a test of your character. So in the case of the Vice President, ay lumalabas po yung flaw sa kanyang karakter kasi natatalo ng kanyang galit.
Parang ang hugot po ni Bibi Sara, yung ginagawang pagkalkal doon sa kanyang confidential fund, yung paggamit ng pondo ng kanyang office ng Kamara. So ang House of Representatives po ba kayo, magbabago ba kayo or mag-a-adjust ba kayo, maghihinay-hinay ba kayo sa pag-iimbestiga sa kanyang paggamit po ng pondo?
Sa ganang amin, the performance of one's duty should be the primordial consideration. Trabaho po namin yun eh. And therefore, dapat walang let up to show what really happened insofar as the confidential funds of the Office of the Vice President and the Department of Education when she was still the Secretary. Kasi pag magbibigay po kami ng leeway, hindi po na yata in accordance with our mandate.
Moving on to the next one, the Supreme Court has started pilot testing artificial intelligence as part of its dual innovation, but assured that they are engaging experts to assist in machine language. The Supreme Court is capitalizing on AI-enabled tools to enhance court performance, notably in voice-to-text transcription and legal research, Chief Justice Alexander Guzmundo said on the second anniversary of the strategic plan for dual innovations. Guzmundo said that currently there is a pilot testing of AI software, scriptex, voice-to-text in select first and second level courts. With a cost-effective measure, we hope to address the shortage in court stenographers, Guzmundo pointed out. He added that several offices of the Supreme Court have also started testing AI-enabled platforms to optimize legal research. This will decrease the time spent on preliminary research and allow more time for analysts Guzmondo said. Senator Associate Justice Marvick Leonen also acknowledged the importance of AI in reshaping the JoJo landscape. In this life, we are very careful knowing that the wrong kind of domain, the wrong kind of large language model, can allow the AI to hallucinate, which would be very dangerous. Here, we will be engaging experts to assist in machine language so that the data that comes out of artificial intelligence will be very accurate, Leonen said. Gizmondo earlier said AI will only support JoJo efficiency but never replace human elements. Courts should still be populated with human judges if we are to expect that empathy and compassion would still go into the consideration of granting equitable remedies, he said during the 19th Conference of Chief Justice of Asia and the Pacific in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia last October 12. And the Bicol region was placed on red alert status, Charlie Protocol, on Monday by the Regional Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council due to Tropical Depression Christine, the Office of Civil Defense said. The Charlie Protocol signifies the high state of emergency preparedness, necessitating immediate action from both the DRRMC and local DRRMCs to protect communities and ensure an effective and timely response, the OCD said in a statement. The response clusters of the DRRMC have been activated, including the health cluster, food and non-food items, camp coordination and management, emergency telecommunications, law and order, logistics, search, rescue and retrieval, debris clearing, strategic communication, early recovery, and management of the dead and the missing, OCD added. The OCD said that it also directed regional offices to heighten preparedness as Christine is expected to bring moderate to heavy rain into Bicol, Samar, and other areas starting Tuesday. Undersecretary Ariel Nepomuceno, the OCD administrator, also urged communities to make the necessary preparations for Christine. Getting into the international headlines now, a group of Russian Navy ships arrived in war-torn Myanmar to join maritime exercises with the military Junas Navy, Myanmar state media said on Monday. 4 corvettes and a logistics vessel from Russia's Pacific Fleet arrived at Tilawa port in Yangon on Sunday to join the second Myanmar-Russian Joint Maritime Security Exercise, the Global New Delight of Myanmar said. The Russian ships will conduct harbor-based exercises, the newspaper said without giving details. On Sunday, the Junta announced it will hold a live-fire maritime security exercise in the waters of the North Andaman Sea from October 20 to 24. It warned fishing boats and aircraft not to travel around the area but did not say if any Russian ships or personnel were taking part in the exercise. Both navies held a combined drill in the Andaman Sea in November last year. Along with China, Moscow is a close ally of the Myanmar junta, providing arms and diplomatic support as Myanmar's military struggles to crush armed opposition to its rule. With its ground troops under pressure, the junta is increasingly relying on its air force that includes Russian Sukhoi Su-30s, MiG-29s, and Yok planes, analysts say. Junta chief Min Aung Hlaing has traveled to Russia several times since leading the 2021 COP, including for a meeting with President Vladimir Putin in 2022. What Russia has said, it backs the general's plans for new elections, and the junta has in turn supported Russia's invasion of Ukraine, describing it as justified. The United States has said any elections under the junta will be a sham, while analysts say polls will be targeted by the military's opponents and spark further bloodshed. In August, the junta's other major ally, China, said it supported the military's plans for elections. Excuse me. Earlier this month, sources close to the military told AFP that Min Aung Hlaing would travel to China in November in what would be his first non-trip since the call. And South Korea summoned the Russian ambassador to Seoul Monday to criticize Pyongyang's decision to send thousands of soldiers to support Moscow's war in Ukraine, the foreign ministry said, calling for their immediate withdrawal. About 1,500 North Korean Special Forces soldiers are already in Russia, acclimatizing, likely to head to the front line soon. So spy agency said Friday with additional troops set to depart soon. Pyongyang's first such deployment overseas. South Korea, which has long claimed the nuclear armed North is supplying Russia with weaponry for use in Ukraine, has expressed alarm over the deployment, which comes after Kim Jong-un and Russian President Vladimir Putin signed a military deal in June. Vice Foreign Minister Kim Hong-kyun expressed those grave concerns regarding North Korea's recent dispatch of troops to Russia and strongly urged the immediate withdrawal of North Korean forces and the cessation of related cooperation, the ministry said in a statement. Kim told the Russian ambassador to South Korea, Georgy Zinoviev, that North Korea supplying Russia with weaponry and troops for the war in Ukraine poses a significant security threat not only to South Korea but to the international community. He also emphasized that such actions violate multiple UN Security Council resolutions and the UN Charter. And finally, in the showbiz, Marian Rivera defended the decision of the producers of her film Balota to give discounted ticket prices to teachers and students who will watch a screening, saying their aim was to help build a better society. On her Instagram page on Sunday, October 21, Rivera clarified that the discounted prices were announced even before the beginning of its nationwide screening to help convey its message to the public. In the political action drama, Rivera plays a public school teacher who was forced to defend the ballot box shackled on her wrist containing the last set of election returns with which the various figures wanted to obtain in order to change the results of that election. Balota first premiered at the Seminalaya 2024 Film Festival last August and is now on its nationwide screening since Wednesday, October 16. Students and teachers are entitled to special ticket prices in select cinemas as long as the school IDs are presented. And that is it for koolNews at 6. As always, if you have any news suggestions or feedback you would like to share, you can get in touch with us at tvhphilippines.news@gmail.com. And we will return with more news headlines with koolNews Prime Time at 9 later. Till then, I'm Carol. Good evening.